bitch.
Extra honest, extra unbiased, but a little bit shady. Go ahead, like and subscribe.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Del, and you're here to be extra with Del. If you're new to my channel, I must let you know that I vlog about beauty pageants yearly and talk to you guys about my extra honest, extra unbiased opinions about the queens. And today is no different. Actually, it is different because today we're actually going to be extra honest in this video, you guys, and we must decipher Miss Universe 2025 very heavily, because that was, what the hell was that, you guys? This is like, it's just, I thought last year was bad, but this year is actually worse. Not only we had to deal with like Nawat's drama, now we have to deal with like Raul's drama. It's a mess, you guys. It's too much. Like I really could not even like make a recap video because I literally had to just, you know, not consume so much of what was happening because it can be very like just tiring. I was tired, darling, okay? But today I'm not tired, so I'm gonna be talking. So we're going to be deciphering, dissecting what happened at Miss Universe 2025, you guys, okay? And give you guys my opinions on, you know, how it all went down, and all the way to my conspiracy theories why Miss Universe Mexico was crowned Miss Universe 2025. So if you're ready to dive into this rig pageant, then hey, buckle up and let's go. First and foremost, you guys, I am so happy for the absence of Miss Hello Universe and 𝐌𝐬𝐬 from the TV screen. I mean, that's probably one of the greatest things that's happened this cycle of Miss Universe. She wasn't there, and we are so happy because she really was the beginning of the downfall of Miss Universe, and we just can't even, I can't even call it prestigious pageant anymore because, girl, I can't, you guys. So let's start with the stage, you guys. I thought the stage was okay. Considering it's in Thailand, I kind of wish that it actually was more, like, more amazing. But I get it though, they kind of wanted to, I feel like they really didn't want to, they probably didn't want it to feel like Miss Grand. So I like that they kind of kept the simplicity and the sophistication, perhaps. I mean, I don't know, not sophistication, but it's just like, it's an aesthetic where it's not over the top. So I like that it kept the aesthetic of Miss Universe, that what we usually see, not too, although we don't mind a change, just something that doesn't like remind us of Miss Grand, you know what I mean? But the stage was okay, the host was okay. I thought he was kind of a snooze fest, honestly, and his jokes wasn't just as funny. And he made like, you know, a lot of like, he made those like Steve Harvey jokes. And I'm like, well, we kind of wish Steve Harvey was actually there rather than you. And I thought he would be funny, but he wasn't. But what I was very pleased by was Jeff Satur. I don't know who he is, you guys. Is he only popular in Asia? I've never heard of him. Or maybe I have. I've seen the name float around here and there, but I never really knew who it was, or I don't even know if it was just just somebody who was famous on TikTok or like a streamer. But I didn't know that he was an actual singer. Is that what he does? But well, according to that voice, I'm kidding. He did sound good, but there was a time when he was kind of like pitchy and he was doing too much. There's a time when he sounded like a dying cat. He was like, ah! I was like, girl, don't be trying to ruin my ears, okay? But he's cute though, right, you guys? I kind of found him really cute, like sexy, but in a very feminine way. Like I don't know, he reminded me of like a sexy, like masculine lesbian. But he was cute, and if he transitioned, he would be like a really pretty girl. Okay. Anyway, but I like Jeff Satur. He was very entertaining, and I love the aesthetic, very Gen Z. And also, I like the pace of the show. I think when they started introducing themselves, they were able to just go, like, you know, they were able to go like with the pace of like just go, like no pausing, no slowness, and it was just a good pace. Like, it wasn't too slow or too fast. Even when we got to the swimsuit, I thought the pace was also like, was really, really well timed. And then the announcement or the introduction outfits, you guys. What the low budget is that, you guys? I thought they were gonna do something more very Thai inspired or something like that, rather than this really cheap looking sequence two-piece outfit. That asymmetric hem skirt was a very, very Shein, okay? Like, really? This is what we're gonna see on the finale? Like, that was honestly like confusing to me, because I really thought it was gonna be like something Thai inspired. But yeah, I wonder what happened there. All right, now let's get to the top 30, you guys. The top, so I had to rewatch it again, you guys. As you guys know, I was running a little bit late because I was in the office when Miss Universe started. I'm in Los Angeles, so therefore, like, around the time that it started, it was like 5 p.m. So I had to like scramble, queens. Okay, I was like, I gotta go. And it was raining too, so it took even longer to get home from the office. And I was like driving in the rain. I'm like FaceTiming my friend Neil. How you doing, Neil? And my friend Eric. How you doing, Eric? I was like, girl, tell me what's happening, while I was driving in the rain, you guys. And I was like, oh my God. So the first one that got in was India. So India, of course, that's our queen, you guys. And then Guadeloupe, my number one girl. Then China, another favorite of mine. Thailand also. Dominican Republic was not in my top 20, but she was fabulous during the preliminary competition. And then Brazil, yes, Brazil. She was in my top 20 because I know Brazil. She's beautiful and she can speak. Rwanda, girl. And then we have got Côte d'Ivoire, of course, my number 2 pick. Colombia, we love Colombia. We love how Colombia has been really showing up and presenting herself in a very fabulous way. And then Netherlands, girl. And then Cuba, bye girl. Bangladesh, okay, I knew they were gonna, she was in my top 20 because I was like, you know what, she's got a great cause, and she's got a great advocacy, and she's got a lot of followers. If there's one thing in this era of Miss Universe, they love a queen with tons of followers. It's all about their business. I can't deal. And then we've got Japan, which I don't know how she got there. Puerto Rico, we love our Puerto Riqueña, especially. United States was there also. I'm not sure about that, you guys. But okay, sure. And then Mexico. I mean, I was fine with Mexico making it to top 30 because, like, why not? You know, like, it's you know, Raul Rocha is Mexicano, so I mean, it's expected a little bit of riggness. Like last year, remember when Miss Universe Mexico made it all the way to top 5 last year? And then we've got the Philippines, because she did fabulous during the preliminary competition. And Zimbabwe, who is, some of you guys were telling me about Zimbabwe, but I was not into it. I would have preferred Nigeria than Zimbabwe, or even South Africa. I would probably Nigeria than South Africa. And then we've got Costa Rica. Of course, I knew Maya Ross was gonna make it because she's gorgeous and she's well experienced. Malta, a lot of people actually liked her. I never really paid attention to her because I was just like so fixated on Miss Universe Croatia. And then we've got Chile, yes, okay, Chile, and then Canada. I know Canada is a great speaker and she's got an experience also at Miss World, so I was like, yes. Latina, Dominican Republic, Yamile also made it. 2 Dominicans have 2 queens competing for them. That's fabulous. Then we've got Miss Croatia, who is the queen that we all love. Then Guatemala, Palestine, and then you guys, Nicaragua, France, and last but not the least was Paraguay. What do I think of this top 20? Well, first of all, this is how I did, you guys. So, as you guys know, I had Guadeloupe, Côte d'Ivoire, Philippines, Thailand, Puerto Rico, Turks and Caicos, India, Colombia, Latina, Chile, China, Portugal, Croatia, Kazakhstan, Ecuador, Mexico, Indonesia, Palestine, Brazil, and Bangladesh. So, definitely shocked that Turks and Caicos was not there. That's so wrong. I'm sorry. This is my message to Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos, I'm so sorry that Miss Universe and the judges are freaking racist and they didn't include you to be in the top 30. You deserve better. You were amazing during the preliminary competition this whole entire time. You have been such an outstanding queen that everybody from all over the world had faith in you. And I even had you as my number 1 during the the preliminary because I thought you were phenomenal. But overall performance, she wasn't my number one, but she was in my top 7. But the very fact that she was not in it was just wrong. It was so wrong that she was not in it, you guys. And then other queens were able to sneak into the top 30. And then there's 2 queens that made it unfairly, starting with Miss Universe Cuba. As you guys know, this queen bought her crown. She competed at Miss Cuba, and she won. And as you guys remember, she looked absolutely different during that time. She had a totally different face. I remember all the other Latinos were asking if that's a dude. They were like, is that a man? I can't, you guys. She's obviously not, but she did go under the knife to make herself look less of a man, I guess. This is according to the fans. They're saying she looks like a man, not me. But so she went under the surgery, and this is, you know, the result of it. But not even the surgery. I didn't think she deserved it at all. I mean, the very fact that this girl is a Nepo child and she only got the crown of Miss Universe Cuba because she's a Nepo child, and that's, to me, disgusting. Taking away opportunities from actual reinas that has it going on in the face, that doesn't have to go under like 10 surgeries, you know, to represent their country. You know, someone who actually has substance, who's gone through hardship in their life in Cuba and want to make better for themselves as well as their family. So Miss Universe Cuba took that away from some, you know, some stunning Cuban girl in Cuba. And there she is, a Nepo child, the niece of Gloria Estefan. And then we've got the People's Choice, Miss Universe Paraguay. The People's Choice, or her sugar daddy's choice, allegedly, okay? In my opinion, her novio has something to do with the fact that she was able to make it, because the girl, let me tell you, this girl, I was like, I never noticed this girl at all. I don't think any other, I don't really watch other vloggers, but you know, I sometimes scroll through some of the Instagram of these big pageant vlogs, you know, organization or blogs, I guess, or accounts. And they never have Paraguay. So I was like, why, how did she get there? And of course, we're all very aware that she also won the, one of those, the advocacy contests. And guess who was part of that committee? It's her novio. It's just not fair. Like, these things should not be allowed. If you've got a boyfriend that's manipulating the result, it's not okay. And you guys, one thing I hate is like rig shit. I cannot stand rig like pageants. Like, it's so not fair, especially for queens who are coming from small countries that have it going on. They have the goods. They look, they're stars. They have incredible advocacy, but they get outshined because, you know, these other queens that are obviously very mediocre in terms of beauty and their achievement in life, you know, and it's all because they know somebody, so they make it into the prestigious top 30, okay? And that's not fair. So I definitely would have loved to see Turks and Caicos. Honestly, Turks and Caicos was one of the, even Ecuador, you know? Turks and Caicos was somebody that I really, really wanted to see in the top 30 and been given the chance instead of Cuba and Paraguay. Not okay. All right, now we get to the swimsuit competition, you guys. Now, first and foremost, I wasn't so sure if I loved this swim. I liked the cut of the swim, especially the 2-piece. I wasn't a fan of the 1-piece. I felt like the 1-piece wasn't very complimentary, especially the queens like India and like Colombia. They had to wear it, and I felt like that took away a little bit from their performance. And wasn't so sure if I loved the rosette gold applique on the spaghetti ties, as well as the top. I wasn't so sure. What do you guys think? Anyway, it wasn't something innovative. Again, it's always a little bit low budget, which I would think they would be wearing something fabulous. You know what I mean, you guys? So that was really strange. Anyway, so we get to the swimsuit competition, you guys. So here are the queens that I love. Chile was amazing. I thought Chile looked absolutely stunning. Her hair to the side like that looked incredible. China absolutely continues her momentum. Wow. Costa Rica, sexy, muy sexy. Love Costa Rica. She was so beautiful, you guys. if she was wearing another sash of power, if she was wearing the Peru sash, she would have been, girl, she would have made it next. Because you guys know Peru has a little bit of, they're not a powerhouse as of yet, but they've been doing super well. And there's some sort of power to Peru sash. So if Costa Rica was was wearing a Peru sash, oh, she would have made it. But I thought, hello, Costa Rica, her hips, and then Côte d'Ivoire, the moment she walked in, she devoured. That's the moment I started referring to her as Côte devoured, because she devoured that swimsuit, you guys. And then we love Guadeloupe also, you guys. I mean, I just knew that she was going to step it up. The eyes, how she was really, really engaging with us only by using the eyes, giving us the smiles, okay? Malta, after rewatching it, I thought Malta actually did really incredible. Her stomp was strong. She wasn't being overly, she wasn't overacting. She wasn't overly stomping. It was just perfect, and perfect intensity in the eyes. So I thought Malta looked great. Miss Universe Latina, I thought she was fabulous. I thought she was actually really, really good. So I was baffled and confused when she didn't make it, you guys. And then of course the Philippines, really love. So surprised how she did her hair to the side like this, you guys. I was like, that's a good look for her. Because, like her, I also have kind of like a rounder, kind of chubby, kind of, face. So like, it's really complimentary to her face to kind of split it to the side. So I thought that split to the side really complimented her beauty. And the walk was super strong, not overly doing it, and that simplicity is where it's at for Miss Universe Philippines. Puerto Rico comes right after the Philippines, and she just devours as well, you guys. She really ate that, and she was able to kind of go toe to toe with like Miss Universe Philippines performance for me. And then we've got Thailand. Thailand heard all of you bitches out there who said that she can't turn, and she avoided the turn, and she just, which is bad. If you guys never called it out, she probably would have never taken out the turn. So instead, she did a straight on pasarela, and she looked like an Indian Thai goddess, okay? And then Venezuela. Didn't think that I was gonna be a fan of her, but she, because during the prelims, I was very I was not at all a fan of Venezuela's swimsuit pasarela. But during the evening of the finale, I thought her pasarela was better. She gave more life to her pasarela. So kudos to Miss Universe Venezuela. Do I still dislike her? Absolutely. But we have to give credit where credit's due. And she did great after rewatching it. I was like, oh wow, she actually did great. I actually love that high pony that she did, the Ariana Grande pony, because she didn't look like an auntie. So, because sometimes Venezuela can look very auntie-ish. Okay? You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I mean, was I satisfied with the result? Not really, because I also like Brazil. So I like Chile, China, Costa Rica, Côte d'Ivoire, Guadeloupe, Malta, Latina, Philippines, Puerto Rico, Thailand, Venezuela. And my last one would either be Brazil or India. India just needed to give more, and then Brazil gave a little too much. So that's the problem there. So those two queens could have really made it if they just kind of found the balance for their performances. So, but nonetheless, I thought it was justified. So we get to the top 12 announcement, you guys, and the big two shocker for me was Mexico and Cuba, especially Cuba. I mean, with Mexico, I see the favoritism, and I see why they would put Mexico in top 12. But I really thought that would be the last time we'll see Mexico, honestly. And then we get to Cuba. Oh girl, I don't even know how she made it. I need to know how much money was put into her placement, okay? Allegedly, okay? I'm not saying that she paid her way, but like that's really the only way that Miss Universe Cuba would make it to top 12. As well, Mexico, she also comes from a really wealthy family that's very much tied to the government. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, you guys. But starting with Chile, you guys. Chile looked so gorgeous in that pink dress and her hair up with the bangs to the side. She looks like a freaking Barbie, you guys. A vision. What a stunning. That's why I was so shocked that she didn't make it. Colombia, I thought her walk was strong. But then when I rewatched it again, you know what? I feel like she was kind of speeding up and she forgot to make love to the camera. And then Cuba, she forgot her old face in Cuba. So bye, girl. Then Guadeloupe, you guys. I mean, if that wasn't just an outstanding performance, I don't know what. Honestly, guys, the dress, the walk, the pace of the walk, the execution of her turns, the eyes, oh my God, she was something to be seen, you guys. And then Mexico with her Chinese New Year card. I can't, you guys. That's gotta be one of the worst dress I have ever seen, both from a costume perspective, because it looked like a costume, and from like just a traditional evening gown perspective. It was horrendous. And then she styled it really, it was dowdy. She looked like an auntie. It was terrible, honestly. And I'm not trying to be a hater. It really was bad, you guys. Then Puerto Rico looked like an angel, you guys. I was like, wow. That white on her skin tone, amazing. And then we get to Venezuela. Then I rewatched the evening gown, you guys. And I did love her performance during evening gown when she was holding that, the shawl, the cape, and then she removed it. That was dramatic and enough drama to kind of compliment her. Cause she's stoic, this Miss Universe Venezuela. You know, she looks very serious and mysterious and stoic. That can sometimes look very standoffish. And so I think adding the whole reveal was good for her performance. And that dress, as I mentioned during my live, was kind of fabulous. I know it's very pandering to the Asian community, but whatever. They were in Thailand, so whatever. China looked absolutely gorgeous too, you guys. The dress on her, I really thought she was gonna make it. The Philippines, that jellyfish dress, I really didn't like the dress. Like, I saw the dress when the wind's blowing in one of her Instagram story, and it looks good for something like that editorial. But for that moment, I get the vision. They wanted the train of it to flow fabulously, but it just looked like jellyfish or toilet paper hanging from there. But the dress in itself was fabulous, and her face really kind of saved everything. And her execution was actually well done. Thailand also had a very underwhelming dress, but I did like the fact that her dress, her cape, was kind of pasted on her shoulder. I wonder how they did that, because it wasn't attached to a fabric or anything, so that was really cool and interesting. And then we've got Malta, you guys. Malta actually was really stunning in the face, and her walk was quite strong, but it was just a dress that really just not gave, you guys. It was a car wash dress. Ew! And then we've got Côte, you guys, the last one who performed, and she did a reveal, and her turns were actually incredible. She was doing her signature turn again with the, she was caressing her arm in the back of her waist, and I thought it was amazing. And I think that she was just so beautiful to look at. That silver on her stunning black skin was just honestly a vision. She would look like a diamond from Africa. Love it. And then so of course I was very surprised at the outcome of top 5, you guys. Seeing Mexico go into top 5 was the biggest WTF moments of my pageant vlogging life. Okay, or just the memories of me watching. Question and answer, the first one. So that it started out with Thailand. Her question was to become Miss Universe, if you were given the chance to speak in front of the United Nations Assembly, what global issue would you talk about and why? So first and foremost, Vina looked absolutely gorgeous up close. I think her fillers, they finally settled. Okay, we're not trying to be shady or anything like that, but we know, okay? If you know, you know. But she looked beautiful up close. And then you guys, her message was amazing. Her answer was to be strong and it's a message of women equality and empowering women. And she was encouraging many of her fans and the viewers out there to do so. And so I thought that was a great message. And what's more impressive to me is actually how she conveyed her answer. I thought she was very calm. I thought she was gonna panic, but she didn't. And she sounded like she was very fluent in English, so good for her. That was a queenly answer from her. And then we get to Miss Universe Philippines, and her question is, as a global ambassador, what will be your contribution to humanity? And she talked about hope for the people, or hope of the people. And I think that's really important, especially where she comes from, the Philippines. She's talking to a lot of her poor fans. I'm kidding, Philippines. She's talking to a lot of her fans, both in the Philippines and all over the world. And she displays her life as a way to, to show that there is hope. And I love the way that she spoke to the crowd. It was very conversationalist. And she showed a little bit of vulnerability of who she is. And I thought that was really moving. And then we get to Miss Universe Venezuela. And then Miss Universe Venezuela was asked, in a world where cultural differences can separate people, how would you use your platform to promote empathy and understanding between different cultures? Venezuela's answer was great. It was not amazing, it was just great. But with Venezuela, I think it sounds good because she has like an accent, and I think we're just not used to like having a Venezuela who can speak English well. So for her to stand up there speaking English, that was an achievement already, I think, for many of you guys. But once you dissect her answer, it was empty. There was no message that's like really like that moves you. It was just a general answer, but it sounded good because of her accent. And again, she doesn't connect, like she doesn't make a connection. Like it's almost like she's not likable. It sounds good, but it's not, she doesn't come off like a really likable person. She seems very standoffish and cold. And then we get to Miss Universe Mexico, and her question is, in your perspective, what are the challenges of being a woman in 2025? And how would you use the title of Miss Universe to create a safe space for women and around the world? Now, this is the time where I was hoping she would talk about the incident that happened with 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬. I don't know if she's been asked to not talk about it because they just don't want to talk about it anymore. It's so strange, you guys, because I would use that moment to really empower women, and to create a safe space for women. And she didn't do that, but she gave a very general answer and saying to stand up for yourself and make history. If we didn't know what happened, we wouldn't be impressed. But I think the fact that the judges know what happened, they probably scored her high because of that, which is not fair. It was a generalized answer. That's not fair. Not everybody got yelled at by 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬, okay? And then number 5, we get to Côte d'Ivoire, and she was asked, education today focuses on knowledge, but not always on emotional skills. What emotional skill do you think should be taught to every child in school, and why? And she spoke about love. She wants to teach young women to love themselves. And the most important thing to me is the way that Miss Universe Côte d'Ivoire, Côte devoured, okay? The way she communicated to everybody just felt so authentic. It felt so real, and she connects. She has a connection, and that's what it is. And the way she's looking at everybody, the way she moves her hand, that's a speaker right there, a stunning Black woman that's speaking to all of us. She's crossing barriers. She's not just talking to Black women. She's talking to all women and little gay boys out there of different colors to really love themselves. That's an incredible message from a stunning girl. So for me, this round, I thought Côte d'Ivoire, Philippines comes second, Thailand, and then Venezuela, and then Mexico. Okay, then we get to the top 3. I'm kidding. There was no top 3. I wonder why. I'm really curious. Why would they tell us that would be the format when it doesn't happen? I find it really suspicious, honestly. And just, I can't deal. It's either they're unorganized or they're orchestrating some riggness, okay? Because what happened to the top 3? Who didn't make it? Anyway, so we start with the question was, if you win the title, how would you use your platform to empower young girls? So Thailand starts it out, and she talks about, so Thailand still kind of kept that composed, very queenly vibe aura, and she's not overacting. She's not shouting like, oh my God, we should save the world, empower young. She's not doing all of that, so I love that about Thailand. It's about just being a queen, speaking to the audience, and she talks about how you fall. When you fall, it's not about how you fall in life, it's about how you get back up, how you rise up. which sounds very similar to Atisa Manalo, Miss Universe Philippines 2025 answer when she won this year. So anyway, so she talks about how you fall and how you get back up and being your own hero. And she's there, she's standing there as Miss Universe. Really, I got suspicious when she said like, when I stand here as your Miss Universe, or I hope to be. And then she ends her answer. I was like, very suspicious of, you know, we love Arvina, okay? But what she said there sounded a little suspicious. And then we get to Miss Universe Philippines. She talks about her Alon Academy. Her answer is very reminiscent of Catriona Gray's answer in Thailand when Catriona Gray said, I work a lot in Tondo, Manila. Apparently Miss Super Germany works a lot there too. Okay. Anyway, I mean, honestly, Philippines' answer was incredible. She talked about something very, personal to her. She talked about her resume, basically. And I think that really struck a chord with everybody. Anybody who's from low-income background can be whatever they want in life. And I think that's the message that she wants. It wasn't very women-focused, because I think that's probably the only thing I would call out is that it's not focused for women, you know? It's opposed to how you empower young girls, but she was very inclusive to everybody. That's the only call out that I have, but I thought she sounded commanding and she was having a conversation with all of us, and I love that. And then we get to Miss Universe Venezuela/Australia. She talked about education and communication go hand in hand. And then she talks about inspiring the adults and the senior citizens. I wasn't sure what she was talking about. Again, another situation where Venezuela's answers sounds good because she speaks English, and the accent is alluring and makes everything much more better. But there was no message in her answer. It was just, she was just talking about something that popped up in her mind. So it sounded good, but there's no message to empower young women. And then we get to Miss Universe Mexico, and she said, believe in the power of your authenticity. Your voice needs to be heard. Now, I love that message because we know what she was talking about because of what she went through. So she needed to me, she should have been more detailed in what she was talking about, because without her being detailed, it's just another general answer. But we get it because we know what she's went through. But if she really talked about the what right there at that moment, it could have been really powerful, honestly. And then we get to the final answer, which the final queen, which is Miss Universe Côte d'Ivoire. And she wanted her answers to be a face of representation. And the most powerful line that she said was, go in those rooms where you think you don't belong, shine and assume your identity. It's so aligned with who we are in this channel, you guys. Be authentic, be you, and if you can't be you, be extra. She was phenomenal, you guys, and there was no ounce of arrogance when she was saying this. She was very relatable, and she was just somebody who was emanating queen vibes. And she stood there in that fabulous silver dress like a diamond, just relaying this message of inclusivity and representation for not just for stunning Black women out there, but all of you women and gay men out there, or straight men, whatever you are, for all of you out there who's felt like you've been excluded, that you could feel included because of her story. So that to me is amazing, to especially young girls. Moment, should we relive that, you guys? I think we're all very traumatized of what happened. We're so dramatic, all of us. But I think we all collectively were absolute shock when they called Miss Universe Côte d'Ivoire as the fourth runner-up. I mean, I don't know how that happened, but what was their merits to score the queens based on popularity? Because that's ridiculous. Because I get it, a lot of those queens on stage, they have an entire army of fans in there. So I was like, how the hell? But see, the people were still cheering for her, even though not a lot of people there are Africans. or people of melanin color, like she was getting applause all because of her answer, not because she has a fan base that are there, but rather that she was connecting with people. So for her to be fourth runner up, I was like, what? And everybody thought that should have been Mexico, which honestly is still not justified. I really don't even think Miss Universe Mexico should have been all the way to top 12, sure, but I think she was good for top 30, but all the way to top 5 was already a stretch. And then they called Philippines. I was like, what? I thought she did really well. And she's bounced back so incredibly well for this girl, Tisa Manalo. As you guys know, I was one of her haters from last year because I thought she rejoined with that horrendous run she had last year in 2024. And she couldn't even make it to top 5 of Miss Universe or Miss Cosmo. So I was like, I thought I thought she was delusional to come back, but then Atisa came back and she came back really strong. And I was so shocked when they called her. I was like, really, girl? That one time I'm rooting for her, she gets played? And then they called Venezuela. I was very happy. Although I may be a little bit of a hater because I really didn't think that it's because of her fan base. Her fan base are really annoying. And not the Venezuelan pageant fans, but Stephanie Abaso, her fan base, they're quite annoying. And they really think that she's the best Miss Venezuela that's ever represented Venezuela. Are you sure? You never heard of Amanda Dudamel? One of the best queens that Miss Universe Venezuela has ever sent so far, like this decade. Hello, don't go there, okay? And so I was happy that I thought her placement was justified given the fact that her answers really didn't have any message. And then we get to the finale. As you guys know, or the final 2 standing. As you guys know, I already sort of sensed that they were gonna follow this that reality show format, like, oh, there was a controversy, let's make the controversy even bigger, So I mean, as you guys know, Raul Rocha and Telemundo, they're all about their reality show. Hello, they have a Miss Universe Latina. So to me, I think they followed that format. That's why I immediately kind of clocked it. I'm like, oh shoot, they're gonna do something here, and then to be quite honest, I thought they were gonna I like Vina, right? And between Vina and Mexico, I wanted Vina to win because I think she's stronger. But when it comes down to it, I don't think Vina deserved the crown. I thought it should have been either Côte d'Ivoire was the best one to wear the crown, but Philippines could have also taken that crown, to be quite honest, in my opinion, okay? But I thought, honestly, they were like, I almost feel like both Nawat and Raul are battling it out for, rigation. I feel like Nawat was also trying to rig it for Vina, but then Raul is also trying to do that. So they're having this power battle, and who can outrig who, you know what I mean? So that immediately kind of played in my head. I was like, shit, they're gonna follow that formula and try to out-rig each other, and unfortunately they rigged it for Miss Universe Mexico, which actually just kind of drove everybody crazy because with Vina, if you rig it for Vina, at least she looked, she's performed well, both in swim and evening gown, enough to say like, okay, I see her as Miss Universe. But with Miss Universe Mexico, she was terrible from like the moment she stepped onto stage. And quite honestly, again, as I said before, I don't think she would have placed high if there was no controversy surrounding her. So that controversy is the best thing that's happened to her. All right, so we get to now talk about why we think that things were rigged, you guys. So we only think that, okay? We were not saying it's rigged, but that's how it's coming off as, I mean, honestly, if Vina won, I would still think it was rigged for her. But because now that everything, the dust have settled and we've now like really dissected everything, it's kind of obvious that they were trying to, honestly, I think they were trying to out-rig each other. But the reason why I think it was rigged, Mexico won, meaning Raul out-rigged Nawat, it's because, Raul is trying to show people that he is powerful, that he owns the pageant and he's going to do what he wants, just like that evil Ancon who did whatever she wanted to, including trying to take out the Philippines during Miss Universe 2023 and putting fraud Tonya in there, okay? And then, so to me, my opinion is that they rigged this for Mexico for, honestly, it's an attack on Nawat. They want to attack Nawat. They want to doubt, they really wanted, Raul, I think in general, and I think Mexico in general has, at least Telemundo, the power, the media of Mexico wants to attack Nawat. And the best way to do that is to crown Mexico. And crowning Mexico means she's gonna have to go to every interview. She has to be interviewed in Thailand. She has to talk about the drama with, she has to be interviewed in Asia, in Latin America, in USA, in Europe. She's going to be asked about this situation. And this is going to be a moment for Raul Rocha and the Telemundo organization to really destroy Nawat's image. So that to me is going to be a big problem for Nawat, because they're now going to go on a campaign to really to put a huge stain on Mr. Nawat's image as well. Obviously, that's very much tied with Miss Grand International. That's going to affect those chili pay sales, okay? And then so yeah, I think that and then do I think the drama between Miss Universe Mexico and Nawat was orchestrated? So I don't think so. I think that happened organically. I think Nawat is just a very narcissistic, very, very rude individual. I mean, we have seen other queens who have said this about him. So, there's already like a list of people who have, really corroborate that he's a nasty person. So I don't think it was orchestrated. A lot of you guys are saying that, oh, they probably planned it out, blah, 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 because look at them hugging each other now, blah, 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 and like shaking hands. But see, that's just politics. They're just playing politics, and they're gonna, make it seem like everything is okay for the sake of the brand. But I don't think it was orchestrated. I think it happened organically. I do think that that Mexico, since Mexico is part of a really rich family, you guys, she's part of a wealthy family who her dad is part of Petróleos Mexicanos, which is Pemex, which is connected to the government. And I think that she had the courage to stand up to Nawat, because she's like, girl, you know who my dad is? He is rich, okay? And you guys remember, one thing we know about Miss Universe Mexico is during the crowning moment, people did not, like the queens did not congratulate her, because she is tied to, a really, really powerful individual. And then that powerful individual, does he have ties with Raul Rocha? Who knows, you guys, possibly. In addition to that, you guys, Mexico's president right now is female. And she also was able to get a hold of this, the controversy, and she's also spoken about it. And I mean, it wouldn't be so, it's possible that like, it's not a stretch if Raul wants to maybe somehow tie himself in with the government perhaps. I don't know, you guys, but I mean, to me, all of those are a factor into why it was, they really wanted to push Mexico to win this year, just because of all of the drama. The controversy really kind of like probably what they pushed them to really rig it for Mexico, in my opinion. But either way, it was gonna be rigged either for Thailand or Mexico. I mean, nobody had a chance, you guys, and that's why they also had like the Philippines, Venezuela, all up in the top 5, because they want to please the crowd. This is really probably their goal, honestly, to have a very loud moment. You guys, my mouth hurts from like speaking. Usually it hurts from something else. Oh, dang. But that's it, you guys. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you guys for watching this and recapping Miss Universe 2025 with us. We love, as you guys know, Miss Universe is one of the pageants that we obviously focus on, laser focus on. And I just want to say this to like my Mexican viewers, if I have any. But if you're Mexican, I want to say this now. I am not hating on Mexico, the country, or the Mexican people. My best friend, my friends, many of my friends, my first best friend when I moved to the US, My first best friend was like Latino and taught me all the bad words in Spanish, and I love Mexico. I love Mexican people. They are amazing people, but we are not like attacking her personally. It's her performance. It was Fatima's performance from the preliminary all the way to, I mean, really starting for the very beginning of the competition. She just wasn't like living up to, you know, like she just doesn't have that queen vibe. So it's not personal, it's not her fault, but it's just her performance was just really lackluster. And it's not even like just me who's saying that. I mean, pretty much collectively, a lot of people, except for Mexicans, are saying that she is, you know, she doesn't live up to like that fabulosity of a Miss Universe should have, you know? So we're not hating on her, Mexico. Please don't think that I'm, you know, I'm anti-Mexico or anti-Mexican, not at all. I love Mexican people so much. And not only I have a ton of Mexican coworkers that are just so amazing, but they're also one of the most hardworking people I've ever worked with. So I love you, Mexico. Don't think that I'm being anti-Mexico. And all of you guys, don't be anti-Mexico. We're anti-rig. That's what it is. We're anti-rig. And that's something that I just, you know, I can't, I'm sorry. Like I'm a pageant fan, and I want our queen to be something that we are just like gagging over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, you guys? And last year was already a letdown. So, you know, it's just, you know, at least last year, Victoria gave a really incredible pasarela and presentation. And also it's unfortunate too that Mexico is now 2 crowns that are very questionable. As you guys remember, like when Andreas Mesa won, I thought she shouldn't have won that year. I thought that Peru or Brazil were the last 2 that should have been like, you know, crowned like on that during that Miss Universe 2020 back in Florida. But that was questionable too. But you know what though, like Andrea Mesa in person, she's gorgeous. And she did perform well. Her pasarela, her swim, her evening gown were amazing. But I think just all in all, I thought Brazil and Janique Meseta of Peru, they both kind of outshined Miss Universe Andrea Mesa at that time. So it's just unfortunate that both those 2 crowns of Mexico are kind of questionable. Anyways, that's about it, queens. I'm gonna rest this voice now and this mouth because she's tired, darling. Okay, I'm gonna have some pizza. Okay. All right, queens, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on all my Miss Universe stuff, you guys. This is gonna be my last video. Oh, is it gonna be? Or we're still gonna do Cosmo, never mind. But so thank you guys so much for being there with me and understanding the situation that I'm going through. And I wish I could have vlogged more, you guys. I really wanted to, but I wasn't emotionally, like mentally ready for vlogging every day. So my apologies on that, you guys. Anyways, queens, that's about it. Thank you all so much for recapping this with us, going live with me the other day and just having a good time watching the pageant and not taking things too seriously. We take things seriously, but not too seriously. Oh, well. Anyways, that's about it, you guys. So again, thank you guys so much. We've got a new queen. We'll see how this all goes, you guys, okay? Anyways, that's about it. All right, you guys. Thank you all so much. Again, like and subscribe if you have not yet. And as always, I say this channel, stay beautiful and stay extra. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys. Mwah.